he's gonna go for the kill. Watch. He's gonna go for that new unit. Watch. I can guarantee.
Shout out to Young Hvac. Shout out to Young Hvac. Shout out to Young Hvac.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Young Hvac, and I'm back with another video. This video is slightly different from what you guys are used to, but I think you're still gonna enjoy it. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys an example of what you shouldn't get out into the field and be doing. So I'm gonna be playing a video in the background here, and it's gonna show some good and some bad examples of some technicians out there in the field. This video was 8 years old, but times have not changed. I promise you, there's some pretty janky guys out there doing messed up stuff, ripping off people. So this video is all about HVAC scams, and pretty much it's videos like this that are the reason why people don't trust us. They don't trust us. They always think that we're trying to scam them. This is going to be the first HVAC reaction video that you guys have seen on YouTube, or well, that I've seen on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. The Hanson files.
As the warm months approach, it's time to make sure the central air conditioning is ready to go. That's no truer than in Scottsdale, Arizona, where summer temperatures can reach more than 100 degrees, and where the competition among air conditioning repair companies is fierce. Offers like this, a full inspection for a modest $39.99, are common. But consumer advocates...
I'm telling you, there's still ads out there just like this. We'll come out and do a tune-up for 25 bucks. Just watch out for that kind of stuff. There are some people doing honest work, but most of the time it might be some kind of scam.
Kids say, watch out.
They're advertising that they'll come out and tune up your air conditioner for, say, $30, $25, $40.
Matt Failing is with the Better Business Bureau in Phoenix, Arizona.
If this is a company that doesn't have a good reputation, you're going to be stuck with them.
Jenny and her boyfriend Eric let us borrow their house and equip it with hidden cameras. All in order to see how...
In this case, it's hidden cameras, but man, nowadays in 2020, everybody's got cameras. We got Ring doorbells and all kinds of stuff, and people are just straight up bored. So even if you're not doing any kind of bad work or dishonest work, you still never know who's watching you. There might be a camera up in that attic or in that backyard or right above that condensing unit. Man, just always work like someone's watching you.
How well repair companies know their stuff when called for routine service. But first, we asked not one, but a group of experts to take a look at Jenny's house and air conditioning system to make sure it was in working order.
You can straight up tell that's a no unit.
The house has 2 air conditioning units. This one is just a few years old. The other is more than 20 years old, but still works fine.
You hear that? More than 20 years old. Listen, a lot of times you're going to hear advertisements and you're going to see all kinds of stuff saying that, oh, your air conditioning system is only going to last 10 years. The lifespan is 10 years. 15 years. This video was made 8 years ago, and that unit was 20 years old, maybe even older than that. Of course, it's less energy efficient, but are there any problems with it? No. It's totally up to that customer whether or not they're ready to get something that's going to save them a lot of money. You wouldn't be dishonest by letting them know that, hey, a newer system will save you a lot more money in the long run, but for that customer who may not even have any money, they're going to have to borrow money to get that new unit anyways. So they don't need it, then let it be known that they don't need it.
Our experts cleaned and tuned up both units, topped them off with coolant, and after replacing a part in the old...
Top them off with coolant. I don't know about you guys. I put coolant in my car. In my AC system, I want some refrigerant, please.
Older unit, a minor repair, Jenny's AC system got a clean bill of health.
It's good operating condition right now.
And while the older unit may be less energy efficient than the newer one, nothing is broken and it works fine. Jenny shouldn't have to spend a dime for any repairs.
Hey there, I'm looking to schedule a tune-up with you guys for this Thursday.
She began by answering this ad from a company called Ace Air. On the phone, Jenny said she thought nothing was wrong with her AC units and just wanted the advertised inspection.
You both for $54.90.
She was told servicing both air conditioning units would cost $54.90 and not a dime more. Here comes Tim, the technician from Ace Air.
Look at Tim. Tim looks like a scammer.
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
As Tim goes to work,
The compressor isn't too high.
Yeah.
we're watching it all from the control room upstairs.
Your freon charge is perfect. This is where your high pressure in the unit is.
Okay.
So what is he actually doing now?
He was checking the ratings of the capacitors.
What does the capacitor do?
Regulates power to its motor.
But despite what our
never
expert
mind.
said, he has bad news
Seems pretty honest, but he has bad news as usual.
for Jenny.
It's a capacitor. It's testing bad.
Tim says Jenny should replace a part called a capacitor, something that helps the motor run.
What I recommend, change this capacitor, do a coil clean.
He also suggests she have the coils cleaned. Coils carry the coolant.
And the coil clean is what?
Cool.
About 90.
But we actually had the capacitors and coils checked the day before, and they were just fine.
$54.90.
Jenny gives Tim the go-ahead to do the work.
So your total right there.
$372.05. Okay.
How we go from 54 to 372? Come on, man.
Okay.
It's just
That's when I come downstairs.
Got your check here.
That's
37205. How you doing?
hey, how are you?
Good.
Tim quickly realizes who I am.
Yeah, you're freaking me out.
Okay, relax. You gave this young woman a lot of good, honest information today. Okay.
Yeah, it's Hanson, right?
I am Chris Hansen. How are you?
Nice to
How
meet
you
you.
doing? Good. So let me
watch
just
your show.
thank you very much. We're doing a story on the quality of work people get when they call service people.
At that moment, he knew that he effed up.
To their homes. We have cameras around.
I know how it works.
Okay.
Tim explains that because Jenny's unit is old, he just wanted to make sure it lasted through the summer.
Capacitors are #1 reason for breakdown in
Sure.
Arizona.
And because the capacitors looked old, he says his suggestion to replace
I don't know. This guy, he kind of knows what he's talking about. Capacitors are gonna be your #1 most replaced part, but just because it's rusty doesn't mean that it's bad, man. Oh man, there's guys like this out there. They're changing out capacitors just because it looks ugly. Telling you, just because it's not pretty doesn't mean that it's bad.
them was simply a preventative measure.
What I recommend, change this capacitor and change the capacitor upstairs.
The impression that I got listening in was that the capacitors were bad and needed to be replaced. I mean, that's what I took out of it.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's not necessarily what I meant. I meant more that they're old, they're rusted, they should be replaced.
I just wanted to ask you about it.
That sounds like it would make sense to your average consumer. But our expert said rust on the capacitor doesn't mean anything is wrong.
Did we get our money's worth?
I don't think you did, mainly because the capacitors were operationally fine.
Remember, most homeowners don't have experts in the upstairs bedroom. Jenny could have been out almost $400. Next, we did something else. We wanted to know what would happen if we did something to the system that should be very easy to fix. Would a repairman be able to diagnose a simple problem? So the expert pulled out these fuses.
Hey, look, man, you're pulling up in these vans, man, with wraps and phone numbers and license numbers all over them. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Is by just an inch, cutting all power to the system. He says any credible technician should be able to find the problem and push the fuses back in. Will Raphael from George Brazil Air Conditioning figure it out? Bingo! He sees the problem and fixes it. On top of that, now that he knows it was just a loose fuse, he tells Jenny her system is fine, even the old unit. And listen to this.
Okay, so how much do I owe you? Oh, Raphael, that's not, I don't feel like that's right. Are you sure?
Shout out to Raphael, man. Notice how his shirt's tucked in, pulls up to that job, and he figures out the problem. In this case, he could have still charged a service call fee, but for something that simple, the right thing to do is just to push it back in and keep it moving. Big shouts out to Raphael.
Job well done by Raphael. Coming up, will our other repairmen do as well?
What is this, man? You guys trying to test us here?
Actually, I am. See, here's something that you need to know. We had that system tested. Is that the fuse...
And coming up from... The only thing wrong with Jenny's older air conditioning unit was these loose fuses. We know that because we deliberately pulled them out, cutting off power.
That'll shut down the compressor.
They even leave it loose.
We're testing the expertise of home repairmen, and these techs who showed up did exactly the right thing. They pushed the fuses back in and told Jenny no other work was needed. Raphael wouldn't even accept payment.
So how much do I owe you?
Will
Raphael's a
George
legend.
from America's Comfort Heating and Cooling do the same? He quickly finds the loose fuses, pushes them back in, and does his inspection. But instead of telling Jenny the job's done, he has some bad news.
You have a leak somewhere.
Her system, he says, is leaking Freon, the coolant inside the air conditioner. But how would
You have a leak. I don't even think he hooked up his gate set. How the hell can you look at a unit and tell that it has a leak?
he know? Testing a leak is a long and complicated process, something that George didn't do.
So there's a leak.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a leak.
George says dealing with a leak could get expensive, especially if it's in the long, snaking coil where the Freon circulates.
You're looking probably about $1,500 to replace the coil. Either we can look for the leak and fix the leak, and if it's in one of the coils, then it's not worth it. It's just worth getting rid of the whole thing.
Okay.
Then there's the cost of adding Freon.
We have to recharge the system, so you're looking at probably about $1,900.
$1,900. Okay.
And how would the cost of that repair compare to getting a brand new air conditioning unit?
It's $3,826.
$3,826.
That's $3,826.
Bottom line. What
I don't even know what to say. They call him out probably for like $35. He's trying to get them to pay almost $4,000. This is the type of stuff that's going on till this day.
I mean, just what do we need to do?
I would replace.
You would just replace it. Okay. Crap. We're talking the whole thing. All right. Stay here and I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's time for me to have a chat with George.
George, Chris, and what exactly is wrong with the air conditioning unit?
I think it's just a little bit low on Freon. I don't know how low it is.
But what you told Jenny is that it's about half empty of Freon.
Yeah, I think it's about half 50. But like I said again, I have to weigh it all in. That's why I can't give her a price on the Freon.
I understand that.
What is it?
I have to weigh it all in. How are you gonna weigh the system to tell if it's empty or not? What the hell?
What is this, man? You guys trying to test us here?
Actually, I am.
Yeah?
See, here's something that you need to know, George. We had that system tested.
Here's something
The
you need
only
to know.
issue with that system is that the fuse... George, come on, I want to talk to you.
George sees our cameras and quickly heads to the door.
George, I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on the quality of service.
You got a 20-year-old unit, man.
George is right. It is.
I'm telling you, don't be that guy, man. I'm telling you, just don't be that guy. You're gonna go to that house and you never know. There's gonna be some news cameras in your face because you just ripped off an old lady. You just charged her $4,000 when her unit was just old and there was nothing wrong with it. I'm telling you, don't be that guy.
Is an old system. But the fact is, even though it isn't as energy efficient as the new one, it works just fine, according to our expert Carl.
It is up in age, and you know its efficiency is not what the newer one is, but operationally it's sound.
Had Jenny followed George's advice, she'd have been out thousands of dollars to replace an air conditioning unit that wasn't broken.
The AC guy just got here.
Here comes our next technician, Tony, from Abode Air.
All of a sudden, I can feel air, but it's not cool.
Tony comes in and after meeting Jenny, heads back outside, checks himself out, and gets his tools. But how carefully does he...
This dude looks like he's trying to sell some stuff. Let's see what he's gonna do.
He check out the air conditioner. He appears to examine the circuit board and take some notes, but he never spots the loose fuses we deliberately pulled out. Instead, he jumps on the fact that it's an older unit and says he's found an entirely new problem.
How's it look?
Well, you got some bad news on the
How's it look?
I do.
Yeah, it has that, what we call an LRA. It's a locked up rotor amp.
Tony tells Jenny that the problem is something called a locked rotor amp.
Did he just tell her she has a locked rotor amp? LRA, inrush current. We use it to get startup amps and so on and so on. How do you got a locked up rotor amp, man? What the?
Meaning her motor isn't working.
Okay, so
He's gonna go for the kill watch. He's gonna go for that new unit watch. I can guarantee.
it was just bad.
Yeah, it's...
The unit is completely bad.
Yeah, it's just bad.
It's shot.
Yeah.
Tony's best advice, get a new unit.
Do you know how much a new unit would cost? Just a rough estimate.
We'll say 5,000. Rough estimate.
5,000.
$5,000? Remember, all that's wrong are the loose fuses.
Hey, how are you?
So I head downstairs to speak with Tony.
So all in, what do you estimate this will cost?
Probably about 5,200.
$5,200. Good, and that's the estimate right there?
Yeah, I gotta still finish filling it out.
Yeah. Well, let me, Tony, before you go, there's something that I need to tell you.
Sure.
I'm really not the man of the house. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Okay.
I'm Chris
And we're
Hansen.
doing a story on the quality of service provided by repairmen and mechanics who come to the house.
Sure.
And so a couple things. Go ahead, have a seat, relax.
Okay.
Go ahead and have a
questions.
seat.
No, in fact, I'm not gonna have a seat. I gotta get things buttoned up.
Well, I'll walk with
So
you,
please come
because
on back.
there's something I want to show you out there.
Great.
Things that
Camera.
you said needed to be repaired on this unit weren't broken. That's the bottom line.
So I wouldn't say that system works fine at all. The bottom line is, on a 24-year-old system, they're going to have multiple problems with that. I don't care what anybody says.
And he's stuck with his story, despite the fact that I pointed out the real problem minutes earlier.
Now, can I show you one thing?
Go ahead. Oh, the disconnect.
Works just fine now.
That's the last thing you want to hear. Can I show you one thing?
Yeah, it does.
All you had to do was check right
Push it
there.
in, yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah. I didn't push the fuse in, but
Well, why didn't you push it in?
because I didn't notice that it was sticking out.
But wouldn't you check that as a matter of routine?
No. You don't go to jobs where the disconnect is sticking out. We just check the fuses.
So what can you do to make sure the repair person you call is the right one for the job? First, when someone gives you the bad news, get a second opinion.
So this is a must-do right now.
But one of the best ways to find someone who knows their stuff is by word of mouth. Get a referral from someone who's had a good repair experience. That way, the odds of finding someone you can trust.
Hey, comment below what you guys think about this video. Stuff like this is still happening till this days. If anything, it's gonna be 100 times worse. Yeah, I want all of us to share our reaction to this video in the comment section below. Don't be that guy. There were some great examples of what to do and what not to do. Once again, shout out to Raphael, man. He's a real stand-up guy. He did the right thing in this situation. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and maybe want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Young Hvac, and today has been a good day.